You know, I never thought I'd live to see the day where I'd see a crisp rat playing a fat cat, but here we are. So let's talk about it, I guess. You deserve to be seen with some... Let's get it. I deserve to be with somebody as fly as me. Alright, so we've got a new Garfield movie coming out in May of 2024, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't get a lot of ads. God bless ad blockers. So when I woke up today, popped onto Instagram to find a trailer to one of my favorite childhood comics, you know I gotta make a video about that. It's fucking Garfield. What kid or man-child wouldn't love a lazy, smart-ass cat who lays around all day cracking one-liners and eating an ungodly amount of Italian food? I mean, the comics have been running since '78. God damn. Now that's one dusty puss. From the studio that brought us Blade Runner 2049 and Alcon's first animated flick, directed by Mark Dindal, I hope I'm saying that right, who also directed The Emperor's New Groove, Cats Don't Dance, and Chicken Little, of all things. Written by Mark Togove and Paul A. Kaplan, who've written for The George Lopez Show and not a lot else. Oh boy. I'm not sure Jim Davis being a co-writer can save this flick. Now, the trailer starts off innocently enough with us seeing how John and Garfield meet. In that, we see Garfield as an abandoned kitten, there's sad music playing, he's just so small and so goddamn cute. Poor little guy almost gets hit by a car and runs up to a window where we find John at a little Italian restaurant. Camera pans around, and we see that John, like Garfield, is all alone. He's sad, which is weird because how can you be sad while eating pizza, dude? Like, come on. However, when he notices this little baby Garfield pawing at the window with his big old sad eyes, and John lets him in, you can tell this man is just in love with this little kitten. The music is swelling, it's all emotional and touching, really tugging at your heartstrings, and at the height of the music, we then get one of the most Garfield-y gags I've ever seen committed to film, where this tiny itty-bitty Garfield is just on an absolute tear through the restaurant. The little guy is eating pretty much everything in sight, and you just see John's face in utter horror at the sight of all of it.
Nice touch.
And it's honestly really fun, and at this point, I'm here for it. I'm vibing with it. And then we get to the voice. Okay, so I don't want to join the echo chamber that's just constantly shitting on this guy, but can we please, for the love of Satan, stop casting Chris Pratt in roles that he should not be cast in? He sounds nothing like Garfield. I understand that, sadly, Lorenzo Music has passed away, but is this really the best we could do? We have Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson in this movie, too. You mean to tell me that they don't have the pull to get actual voice talent? The thing that breaks my heart is the animation looks great. Seriously, this is the best Garfield has ever looked in 3D.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
You could pause this trailer at any one of the keyframes and you'd get something that looks like it's ripped right out of the comics. The gags feel like Garfield gags. The lines sound like Garfield lines. For the most part. It just sounds nothing like how the character should sound. You can't take a lazy, low-energy, Monday-hating character and give him a peppy, go-lucky choir boy voice. That just doesn't work tonally. The lines of the titular character and the voice itself conflict so wildly, they're at odds with each other, and it really pulls me out of it. It feels like Chris Pratt's name was slapped on it for sheer marquee value. As if the characters that have been established weren't already enough. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Chris signed away his rights and this is actually an AI doing the read. It feels like he just walked into the booth and read the script like a bailiff who had a half-decent morning. Why not Frank Welker? I mean, he's no Lorenzo Music, no offense, but he sure pulls off Garfield better than this.
Bury me in cheese! I apologize in advance. The eating you're about to see will not be pretty. And if you have young children, this would be a good time for them to leave the room.
Why not Nick Offerman? Shit, why not give Bill Murray another chance at a Garfield movie that isn't an utter clusterfuck? His voice is near perfect for the character. Why not Jim Cummings or Maurice LaMarche? You know, people who can actually voice act? Even Justin Roiland did a better Garfield than what we see in the trailer. Wait, no, cut that out. Or hell, even Fred Tatasciore from friggin' Robot Chicken would be more believable than fucking Star-Lord.
Who?
Sorry, I mean Chris Pratt, who's only able to pull off one or maybe two character archetypes. I love him to death, but he's more one note than... But, me bitching about the casting aside, what's the movie about? Well, based on what the trailer shows us, it's an origin story of how the lovable trio came together, while running down the tired cliche of the estranged dad named Vic, played by Sam Jackson, coming back into the picture where hijinks and likely angst ensues. I actually just looked it up on IMDb, and as it turns out, that Garfield and his canine friend Odie are forced from their perfectly pampered life into joining Vic in a hilarious high-stakes heist. The film's website's words, not mine. Just putting that out there. So, anybody else catch that in the trailer? Because I know I sure as hell didn't. So, now we have a heist plot woven in somehow, I guess? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess there will come a point in the movie, most likely about halfway through or in the last act, where Odie and Garfield part ways because Odie doesn't trust Vic's schemes, whether it's because Garfield is hung up on making up for lost time or Vic just promised him all the lasagna he could ever want. Only for Odie to return to save Garfield at the end when Vic ultimately leaves Garfield high and dry, with the lesson being that the family you find and make can be more important than where you come from or some other power of love, roll the credits cliche. Because the story doesn't seem convoluted enough apparently with its tone-deaf casting. In a way, I do get it. Garfield has always been a money-printing machine. I know for a fact that we are about to be neck-deep in plushy baby Garfields, because even I want one. But I am a dog lover for life, through and through. Pick of said shithead for reference. How could you not love that little fuzzball? It's cuteness distilled, my friends. I know it sounds like I'm ragging on this movie and Chris Pratt so goddamn hard, but you gotta understand that a good Garfield movie can exist. I'm just not sure this is it. More than anything, it makes me want to rewatch the old specials. I want to like this movie. I really do. As a kid who grew up in Indiana, who fell in love with drawing and with comics, Garfield and Jim Davis were massive in my childhood. And it's looking like a really mixed bag. Guys, I'm gonna be real with you. My hopes aren't very high for this movie, and I really hope I'm wrong because I know Garfield has the power to do well. And it's not a great sign that it looks like this film is being sold on the back of a fried and refried rodent. But ultimately, that remains to be seen. What do you guys think? Have you seen the trailer for the new Garfield movie? If you have, comment below and let me know. And hey, if you haven't, what's your favorite episode or special from the old Garfield and Friends series? Let's see how many old-timers I got kicking around on my channel. For me, it's gotta be Babes and Bullets. I'm just a sucker for noir. But, as always, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. That's it for now. So fuck off.